My stepdaughter said she wished my twins were never born and called them Spawn, so I cut off her tuition payments completely. I married Rick when his daughter Haley was 12, and for 4 years we were like a real family. I never tried to replace her mom, who lived across the country with her new husband. Haley stayed with us during school and spent summers with her mom. We had this great routine where I'd help with homework, we'd bake together on Sundays, and she'd tell me about her crushes while I braided her hair. She called me by my first name, which was fine, but she'd introduce me as her bonus mom to friends, which always made me tear up. When I got pregnant with the twins, Haley was 16 and seemed excited. She helped paint the nursery, came to ultrasounds, even threw me a surprise baby shower with her friends. After the boys were born, she'd rush home from school to hold them, learned to change diapers, called herself the best big sister ever. Rick was over the moon seeing everyone together. Then Haley turned 18 and got into her dream college 3 hours away. We were so proud. Rick and I agreed to cover tuition and housing while her mom would handle books and spending money. Expensive, but worth it for Haley's future. She came home every few weeks that first semester and things seemed normal. The twins were walking by then and would scream with joy when they saw her. Second semester, something shifted. Haley started criticizing everything I did. The twins' clothes were tacky. Their toys were too loud. The food I made wasn't organic enough. She complained we'd turned her room into a playroom even though we'd only added a toy box while keeping all her stuff. Rick said she was just adjusting to college life. Spring break, she brought her roommate Amber home. Amber was one of those girls who thought having younger siblings was embarrassing, and parents were just ATMs. She kept making comments about how Haley was stuck visiting family instead of going to Cancun like everyone else. Haley started agreeing, saying the twins made it impossible to relax at home. One afternoon, I asked Haley to watch the boys for an hour while I got groceries, came back to find them crying in their cribs, and Haley on the couch with Amber watching Netflix. She said they wouldn't stop making noise, so she put them in timeout. They were 2 years old. Rick talked to her that night about responsibility, but she just rolled her eyes and said we were being dramatic about babies who wouldn't even remember. Summer came, and Haley announced she was staying at school for an internship. There was no internship. Her friend posted photos of them at the beach every day, but we kept paying tuition because Rick didn't want to start drama. When she came home for Rick's birthday, the twins ran to hug her, and she actually pushed them away, saying they were sticky. Then during dinner, Rick mentioned we were considering moving to a bigger house since the boys were getting bigger. Haley lost it, said we were erasing her childhood home, that everything was about the twins now, that nobody cared about her anymore. I tried explaining we'd make sure she had a room in any house we bought. That's when she said it. Looked me straight in the eye and said she wished the twins were never born because they ruined everything and turned her dad into someone who only cared about his new family. Rick's face went white. The twins were right there. The older one asked why Sissy was mad. I took the boys upstairs while Rick tried to talk to Haley. I could hear her screaming about how I'd replaced her, and the twins were the proof. How her life was better before I showed up with my spawn. That word, spawn, about my babies. Rick came up an hour later looking defeated, said Haley was going back to school early and maybe everyone needed space. I agreed, but knew something had to change. That night I went through our finances. We were paying $32,000 a year for Haley's education, money that could go to the twins' college funds, money we were struggling to afford with 2 babies. I made a decision, called the college financial aid office and said we needed to update our payment information for next semester, removed our card and put Haley's mom's contact instead. Then I called her mom Julia and explained we could no longer afford tuition with the twins' expenses. Julia freaked, saying she couldn't cover it alone. I suggested Haley could take out loans like most students or transfer somewhere cheaper. 2 weeks later, Haley called Rick screaming that her registration was blocked for non-payment. Full story on channel, link below.